Forza Motorsport Update 5 has just been announced, and the creators of Forza Motorsport Turn 10 Studios seem to have listened to us all. They say this is the update that is going to fix most of the issues that we currently have with Forza Motorsport, and that this is the update that is going to make the game great again, just like the old Motorsport games. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So the first part of the update that has me absolutely hyped is the Nürburgring full track, the 20.8 kilometer Nordschleife. This is coming to Forza Motorsport, and this is by far my favourite track to race on any game, and is one of my personal goals in life to travel all the way to Germany and drive this track myself. Along with the Nordschleife, the Mercedes AMG 1 is also coming to the game. This car currently holds the lap record at the Nordschleife at 6 minutes 35 seconds. The track itself also looks proper realistic too, with the correct embankments and elevation changes. It also has an abundance of trackside detail too, such as foliage and spectators, which adds a little nice touch too. Next up is going to be the changes to the AI and the car leveling system. This is a topic that I've spoken about on Reddit multiple times, and I think we all know that the AI in the game sucked, up until now that is. So the update states we are testing out fixes to the driver tire AIs to alleviate competitors bunching up around turn 1 and causing the first few AI opponents to reach massive leads. Beyond those key changes, we are investigating other priority fixes for the AI that improve their overall driving behaviour and reduce how aggressively they stick to the racing line. Honestly, this is massive for anyone who plays career mode, including myself. The AI have absolutely sucked until now, so it is good that they've listened to us and they are making these changes. Then we have the car leveling system. Personally, I think this does need a change. However, Turn 10 have stated that in their surveys there is a mixed response, and that a lot of you guys actually really like the leveling system how it currently is. They have stated that players will have the freedom to equip the parts they need regardless of car level. What I've taken from this is that you will still need to level up the cars to get the required car points. However, there is now not going to be a restriction on what modifications and upgrades you can do to your cars, meaning things like engine conversions and body kits can now be equipped at lower levels providing you have those car points. I still think that's going to be a little bit of an issue, because obviously at level 1 you're going to have no car points, so you're still going to have to level up your car to get those car points. So it's not like you can just bang on some V8 in a Honda Civic and then win all your races at level 1. That's not going to happen. You're still going to have to level it up, still going to have to get those car points. So it's a nice change. I still don't think we're there yet. They are the main features and changes that are going to come in the new update. However, there is also an abundance of bug fixes, glitches and errors that are also going to be addressed in this update too. So I'll run through them quickly. Firstly, we have the issue of the game crashing. Now, I've been subject to the game crashing on Series X more than I have on my PC, but the game still crashes a lot on both. So hopefully these bug fixes are incorporated on both of these platforms, and the main stability fixes they have changes are stated to be very specific. So apparently they have fixed an issue where the game enters an unresponsive state when returning to open practice in featured multiplayer. They fixed a crash that could occur while entering Forza Vista, and they fixed a crash that could occur when opening a race replay. So like I say, these are very specific, and I actually haven't had any of these, so I hope they have made some changes to the random crashing too. For example, I've had it a few times where I could simply be driving in free play and the game just decides it doesn't really want a game anymore. So hopefully this has been addressed too, along with the specifics I mentioned earlier. Then we have the replays and photo mode. I haven't had an issue with photo mode, but I have not been able to use the replays up until this point, which as a content creator is huge. I could never save a replay, or if I did, they would never show up. I think this is a massive change that will benefit anyone who makes videos or simply just wants to save a moment in the race to watch or share later. So next up, onto the gameplay changes. They have finally allowed us to skip those annoying practice laps in career mode from the post-race menu. Before, you could only do it when you're actually in the practice. You'd have to start the practice, then press the start button, then press skip laps. You can now do this from the post-race menu. They have also now saved our previous practice laps too, which could mean that it will always show your fastest lap in that class when entering a new race. For example, the sector times I've always found are only relevant to the car you are currently using. So when you complete your first lap, you are always setting the fastest lap time and the fastest sector time, even if you have completed a practice lap on that track before. This isn't a massive deal, but it is nice to see. This can really help gauge how fast your current car actually is compared to other laps that you've previously done in the same sort of car, in the same class. I think this is really going to help when changing cars, because I never knew how fast I was actually going in my new car compared to my old cars. Whereas now, if they're saving practice laps, you can easily tell by your sector times whether that car that you're currently using is faster than a similar car in the same class that you've previously previously used, if that makes sense. There is a ton of other gameplay updates too, which I haven't really noticed, but I'm sure some of you have, so I'll quickly rattle them off. Fixed an issue in private multiplayer where someone driving the wrong way wasn't correctly ghosted and could collide with other players. Fixed an issue in free play where car model names are missing from the drivers list. Additional information has been added for projected finishes in the Challenge the Grid screen. Fixed an issue in Builders Cup where the series standing list is missing the name of AI drivers. Fixed an issue in featured multiplayer where the players could encounter an infinite loading screen when attempted to change their fuel and tyre setup at Grid Preview. I actually have noticed this one, I've had it a few times. Fixed an issue where featured multiplayer events at Hockenheim had only 3 laps instead of the intended lap count. They have now introduced a first time pop-up to the Buy Cars menu that explains the featured tab. This is good because it was a little bit confusing when you start up, it just gave you the featured tab, not really any information, didn't really know what was going on, so this one's a good addition. They have fixed an issue where the do you like this design and do you like this tune post-race prompts are not appearing. This is good if you use someone else's tune, you can give them credit. Fixed an issue in featured multiplayer Forza GT Spec series where multiple classes are displayed when filtering by class. This one I've also had actually. Fixed an issue where audio sounds are played twice when pressing and releasing the A button on the controller in the post-race podium finish sequence. I haven't had this one, but that seems really annoying. They have added an explanation to the fuel and tyres menu that clarifies why tyres cannot be changed whilst using a rental car. On that note, they have also added a description of the stock tyres, meaning they can be used in all weather. They have fixed an issue in Builders Cup where players cannot use a rewind after AI driver cars have completed the race. That was just some of the gameplay changes that I thought were relevant. I'll leave a link to the full list in the description below. They have also made loads of changes to the livery editor. Now this isn't something I use, but like I say, there will be a link below. So next up, these are the changes that they have made to PC optimization. Now personally, I play on PC and it runs like shit. Honestly, it is so bad. So they state they have made numerous under the hood improvements to reduce CPU spikes and better utilize the GPU. This is going to help improve frame rate consistency whilst driving. Honestly, this game is not optimized for PC well at all. It does run like shit, so massive improvements there. They say they have fixed numerous crash scenarios caused by multi-thread rendering. Maybe this is why my PC just randomly cuts out, quits the game. Not too sure, hopefully it sorts that out. Not being able to use full screen mode when using a PC. I haven't had this, but that does seem really annoying too. Fixed an issue on PC where players would see no performance boost when switching from a high quality mode to low quality. That's amazing, especially if you don't have a very good PC. They have added a few other ones as well, but they don't really seem too relevant. But if you're on PC and you do want to check them out, there is a link in the description below, like I say. They've also added loads of specific changes to specific cars as well, like tyre screech and engine noise. They've made adjustments to these, but it's not a blanket update, so I won't talk too much about this. The same goes for the tracks too. There's a spelling mistake at Spa, I didn't even realise, but they have changed that, so there's loads more information in that link below. They've also changed loads of the assists as well. They're very specific. To be honest, you probably shouldn't be using the assists anyway. They're pretty crap and they do slow you down a lot, but if you do want to check them out, you know what to do. So that's about it for this video. I am super excited for this update. The Nordschleife, like I say, one of my favourite tracks in the world, and all of these little bug fixes like the crashing and the CPU optimization, that's amazing news. They're really listening to us. So yeah, I hope this video did help you out. If it did, leave a like, leave a comment. What do you think? Is this update going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Or have you just given up with Forza completely? Because as we all know, it is pretty terrible up until this point. Are you going to be picking it up again? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.